Welcome back to the TQQQ challenge. It's the evening of July 17, 2025. Since our last update, my TQQQ portfolio has grown from $3,900 in gains to nearly $8,300 in unrealized profits. More importantly, we saw a golden cross formation on June 23, 2025. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because I share monthly updates on my journey to turn modest investments into significant wealth through disciplined TQQQ investing. Have you watched my short YouTube video titled TQQQ Breakout 2025, published on July 10, 2025? In the video, I explain that on June 23, 2025, QQQ formed a golden cross, and the last time this happened was March 2023, when QQQ rallied for 12 straight months, hitting an all-time high of $540. If you haven't watched it, please check it out. Let's start with where we are today. TQQQ is trading at approximately $87, significantly up from last month's level of $73. To put this in perspective, TQQQ hit an all-time high of $93 on December 16, 2024. It then dropped to $73 on January 13, 2025, before rebounding to $91 on February 18. However, the 2 months leading up to April 9 were brutal. In response to President Trump's aggressive tariff announcements, TQQQ plunged all the way down to $35 on April 7. But once the 90-day tariff pause was announced, TQQQ made a full recovery, climbing back to $87. Even with this sharp rebound, market volatility remains elevated, and conditions will likely stay turbulent until we get more clarity on trade policy. Since TQQQ tracks 3 times the daily performance of QQQ, it's crucial to understand what's happening with the Nasdaq 100. Since April 9, 2025, we've witnessed a historic market comeback. Over the past several months, QQQ has been on a dramatic roller coaster. This 2025 correction was very similar to the 2018 correction. QQQ experienced similar drawdowns in both 2018 and 2025, with declines of about 25%. However, the death cross to golden cross duration was much shorter in 2025. In 2018, the duration was about 4 months between the death cross on December 3, 2018, and the golden cross on April 2, 2019. In 2025, the duration was about 2.5 months between the death cross on April 11, 2025, and the golden cross on June 23, 2025. The recovery in 2025 was notably faster than in 2018. In 2025, the VIX, a measure of expected market volatility, has averaged around 21.4, which is higher than the long-term average and above the 2018 level of about 18.5. The shorter duration between moving average crossovers in 2025 suggests that price trends are reversing more quickly. This aligns with the higher average volatility, as markets with greater volatility tend to experience sharper and faster price swings. The market's rapid recovery in 2025, despite similar drawdowns to 2018, indicates that market cycles, including downturns and recoveries, are occurring more quickly. Factors contributing to this include increased algorithmic and high-frequency trading, faster dissemination of news and economic data, and heightened sensitivity to macroeconomic events like tariffs and inflation. After forming the golden cross, QQQ hit all-time highs several times until today. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq closed at record highs as investors responded positively to robust economic data and strong corporate earnings. The latest figures underscored the resilience of the U.S. consumer, who continues to spend despite ongoing concerns about tariffs and inflation. Notably, retail sales outpaced expectations, and jobless claims declined to their lowest level in 3 months, highlighting steady employment and healthy wage growth. Meanwhile, PepsiCo and TSMC reported solid earnings, with results in the tech and AI sectors fueling broader market optimism and pushing semiconductor stocks higher. This surge reflects ongoing investor confidence in both the United States' economic prospects and the strength of its major corporations, particularly in technology and consumer-related industries. As central bank policy, inflation, and trade tensions remain in the background, upbeat earnings results have led nearly 9 out of 10 S&P 500 companies reporting so far to exceed Wall Street's expectations. The market's rising trajectory, despite political uncertainty and policy debates, is a signal of solid corporate performance and the continued buoyancy of U.S. consumer sentiment. QQQ is currently priced at $561, which is 4% above the previous all-time high of $540 from February 19, 2025. However, TQQQ is still 8% below its all-time high price of $93.79 on December 16, 2024. That is due to volatility decay, described in my short video. However, in the bull market, TQQQ will outperform QQQ. According to the latest GDP Now forecast, U.S. GDP growth for Q2 2025 is projected at 2.4%, an improvement from the negative 0.3% contraction in Q1. The CME FedWatch tool indicates the Federal Reserve will likely cut interest rates twice, once in September and again in December. Meanwhile, on Polymarket, the odds of a U.S. recession in 2025 have fallen from 66% on April 6 to 28% in June to 20% today. That's the lowest probability of recession seen in 2025. Now let's review our portfolio performance. Since last month's update, I haven't added more TQQQ, keeping my total investment at approximately $20,000. Normally, I invest about $1,000 monthly, but in March and April, I invested over $5,000 when the market dropped significantly, so I'm ahead of schedule. Since December 2023, my goal is to invest about $12,000 annually. I plan to invest $4,000 more by the end of November 2025 to reach a total of $24,000 by November 2025. I plan to buy near the 200-day green line, similar to June 3, 2019, when QQQ dropped near the 200-day line after a golden cross formed on April 2, 2019. However, we may not see QQQ touching the 200-day green line for some time. The SMA 20 black line is faster and reflects short-term momentum, while the SMA 50 purple line is slower and indicates the intermediate-term trend. The good news is that QQQ is above the SMA 20 black line, which indicates that QQQ has bullish short-term trends and momentum. My current position is 325 shares of TQQQ with an average cost basis of $61.39. The current value of my TQQQ portfolio is approximately $28,300, with a total unrealized gain of about $8,300, or 41%. For comparison, last month's return was 20% with a paper gain of $3,900. So, it's fantastic to see this kind of improvement. If you'd like more detail, check out our June 2025 TQQQ update video. I haven't sold any shares and don't plan to unless I see unmistakable signals pointing to an imminent market crash. If you want to learn about those signals, check out my videos titled 10-year minus 3-month spread, recession indicator, and how to predict the stock market. The long-term strategy for the TQQQ challenge remains unchanged. Invest $360,000 over 30-plus years and aim for multi-million-dollar growth. For the full explanation behind this approach, watch my video Cash vs. SPY vs. QQQ vs. QLD vs. TQQQ, 30-year showdown. I've also launched an investment simulation game on TQQQchallenge.com where you can test various strategies for TQQQ, SPY, QQQ, and QLD in different scenarios. My approach is guided by 4 principles. First, monthly investing, consistently putting $1,000 into TQQQ each month. Second, enhanced dollar cost averaging, or EDCA, buying more during downturns and less during peaks. Third, sell before crashes, only exiting positions when major market crash signals emerge, with plans to buy back at lower prices. Fourth, no margin, avoiding debt to remain financially secure and minimize risk. The market is moving rapidly, driven by innovation and explosive growth in AI. Our mission is to stay focused, disciplined, and committed to the long-term strategy. Thank you for watching this month's update. If you found this analysis helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support brings energy and purpose to this challenge. Until next time, take care, stay focused, and happy investing.